you have a mind that's so packed with thoughts, that's so busy during the day that you feel like the whole head's going to explode sometimes? Because I know I do. And, so many times I find myself, I'm anticipating a worst case scenario. That's crazy. I'm worrying about something that might not even happen. I'm thinking about something that happened last week. I've got a to-do list that's off the chart. And I'm letting all of these things get to me. And before I know it, I've got so many things going on in my mind. My mind's juggling with all of this information. There's no space for creativity. There's no space for intuition, for anything beautiful to come into my mind, because there's no space. It's packed full of this useless information, and we call this the monkey mind. Now, what do? We normally think that, this is normal. And most people are in this scenario where their mind is so packed full. And then what do we do to try and relieve it? We get home from work, we get home from a busy day, and we reach into the fridge, we go for the chocolate, we go for the pizza, we go for those unhealthy things, we hit the sofa with a TV remote, we immerse ourselves into social media, we hit a bottle of wine, something to just slow our mind down, to get it off the things that we don't want to think about anymore. We do stuff externally. We look for those external things so that we can just slow it down, slow that mind down, because it becomes so annoying. It becomes so frustrating that you just need time out. So none of these things that I just said, none of these things are bad for you, in moderation. But when you're doing them all of the time to relieve yourself of a busy mind, to just escape your own being, to escape yourself, then what we have is an emotional addiction. So I've just got a little technique to show you here that I practice during the day, or wherever I feel like just things are getting too much and I need to slow things down so I can make some space in my brain and get some clarity, have some space for creativity, for intuition to download. So it's a breath, it's an energy breath, and we're going to do this together. So if you've got a spot where you're sitting down, it's better to not have a backrest. So sit comfortably, hands down on your thighs, and I'll just run through what we're going to be doing. Now, long, slow, deep breath in, and as we breathe in, we're going to take that breath up from the base of your spine, and imagine that breath coming from the base of your spine through the lower abdominals, the upper abdominals, through your chest cavity, expanding the rib cage, up through the throat, up to the top of the head. You're going to take that breath up beyond the top of the head, hold it there, and we're going to release it out really, really slowly. Now, there's something else that I want you to do whilst you're doing this breath, and that is when we take the breath in from the base of the spine, I want you to squeeze the pelvic floor muscles. And when you do that, you'll actually be bringing that breath up into the lower abdominals, and as you do that, you're going to squeeze the lower abdominals. You take that breath up and you squeeze the upper abdominals. You expand that rib cage. You fill your torso full of that air. And then you take that breath up through the throat. You feel the pressure behind the eyes. You take that breath up to the top of your head. Hold it there. And then we're going to release it together. So let's do this. So get ready for a long, slow, deep breath in. And breathing in. Take it in from the base of your spine, squeezing the pelvic floor muscles. Take that breath up through the lower abdominals, squeezing the lower abdominals. The breath in through the upper abdominals, squeezing those upper abdominals. Take that breath up through the torso, expanding the rib cage. Take it up through the throat. Feel that pressure behind your eyes. Take that breath up to the top of your head. Hold it there. And release it out. Let's do that again. On the breath in, take it in from the base of your spine, squeezing the pelvic floor muscles, squeezing the lower abdominals, the upper abdominals. Take that breath up through the torso, expand your rib cage. Take the breath up through the throat, expand that breath behind your eyes, up to the top of the head, hold it there, and release it out. One more time. Take that breath in through The lower abdominals, squeeze that lower pelvic floor. Squeeze those lower abdominals. Squeeze the upper abdominals. Feel that breath expanding your torso. Take that breath up through the throat, behind your eyes, to the top of your head, and hold it there. And release it out. How is that? That is an energy breath. It brings your mind and body into a beautiful, coherent state. And there's method in the madness to this, and the yogis out there and the meditators would know all about it. As we squeeze the muscles through the entire torso, taking that breath up, we're actually putting pressure on the spinal cord. And as we do that, we're putting pressure onto the cerebral spinal fluid that runs through it. Now, as we do that, we force that cerebral spinal fluid to make its way up to the ventricles in the brain. And as we do that, we're flushing out the ventricles in the brain, especially if you do it for maybe 15, 20 minutes if you have the time. And it's quite vigorous and it takes a bit of energy to do it, a great deal of focus and concentration. It's quite beautiful. It's a great breath to practice on a regular basis. So as you're moving that cerebral spinal fluid, you're bringing your mind and your body into coherence. And that is a beautiful thing. Have a fabulous day. I'll see you in the next vlog.